Subtracting integers can be confusing, especially if they're written in an odd way. Take, for example, 6 subtract 4. This equals 2. But what if it's written -4 plus 6, or 6 plus -4? Writing it in one of these two ways can be confusing, but in fact, all three of them are the exact same problem. This one is the easiest to figure out because you just switch the two operations. It would be positive 6 subtract 4. Normally, you wouldn't write the positive sign if it was the first one unless it's negative. So, in fact, this wouldn't be here. This one is harder to figure out though because of this positive sign. But in fact, this positive sign does nothing. Because of this negative, it's just showing you that the negative operation is just being added to it. So, in fact, it looks like this. Another thing that people get confused with when subtracting integers is subtracting a negative. For example, 4 subtract 1 equals 3. But what about 4 subtract -1? The easiest way to think about this is on a number line. When you're trying to solve an equation on a number line, you need to remember some of the rules. When there's an addition sign, you need to go right. When there's a subtraction sign, you go left. But when you subtract a negative, you also go right. Because it's reversing the operation. Let me show you that on a problem that's easier to understand. 3 subtract 2 plus 1. So you start at 3 and you subtract 2. So you go this way because the subtraction sign makes you go left, which would take you to the number 1. Then you have an addition sign right here, which takes you right. So you'd go to the right 1 space, which leaves you at 2. Now let me show you with the problem that we were working on. 4 subtract -1. You would start at 4 because that's the number at the beginning of the equation. And because of this negative sign, as our rules say, you would go to the left. But because of this other negative sign, it reverses the operation and we go to the right one. So over here. And because there's nothing else, this is where we stop. So the answer is 5.